Welcome back to the Foster and Adoption Podcast with Nikki and Larry.
Last episode, we talked about chaos to normalcy, or just whatever that looks like in your house. But it looks like that because of standards you set or expectations you set. Then we started talking and briefly touched on how some children just become compliant. Well, you would think that's a good thing, right? Is it always? Well, I beg to differ.
Why? Stay tuned to find out how compliance can go bad. We'll also start discussing the shifting of our journey from then to now, after adoption, and 13 years of bonding.
Did you say bondage? Oh, okay, bonding.
Bonding, definitely bonding.
Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back, everyone. And I'm so happy that you're here this week because, as you know, we've been dealing with the snow. The kids have been home from school a long time.
Long time.
It's so funny that last episode we talking about compliance. This episode, and whoa, do we have something to talk about because they've been home. So you get to kind of observe them more if you want to or not. They're still there. And you're telling them to do things throughout the week. So now we're almost at the end of these snow days, and here we are. So this is a perfect time to talk about compliance. Last episode, I talked about this one child that we had that seems like he's in just pure compliance mode. You know, just whatever you say to do, it's like, okay, he does it. He feels that it's done, it's over with. The standard is here, and he's maxed out at the standard. Not going to go too far above it. Not going to go above average at all. He's going to do it. It's going to be done. It's over, and that's it. I mean, he's right. It's over. It's a wrap.
What he taught us is that that compliance is not necessarily what we always want from our children. It's not our desired outcome, not just simple, plain, thoughtless compliance. You know, in a good parenting situation, compliance is when a child follows instructions and, you know, you got to ask yourself, how can that go wrong?
Oh, real wrong. I mean, just take for instance, okay, we said go clean the kitchen. Well, the child goes into the kitchen. He then just washes the dishes, put the dishes away. He wets up the counters, wet up the table, puts the chairs in, walks out the kitchen, and he's feeling good, chest out and everything, because he knows that when you ask, did you do the kitchen, he's going to say yes.
So he's winning, right?
No. No. Break it down mommy style, okay? He walked into the kitchen, okay? He washed the dishes and put them up. Okay, they're not dry. Why are they getting put up? He wet up all the counters and the tables.
Well, I thought you said clean.
No, I said wet.
Oh.
He wet up the counters and the tables, and they're not clean. Then you push the chairs in and turn the light off and walk out the kitchen, but you never, ever swept the floor. The kitchen is not done. I mean, at that point, this is just what I call plain surface compliance. He's doing just enough to say, I did what you said, but you really didn't do what I said. I mean, that's just plain compliance gone bad.
Wow. Okay. Well, what about when a child returns home from school and you ask them, you know, a couple of questions? Hey, how'd your day go? You know, that kind of thing. And then they just disappear into their room. Or if they do hang around to answer questions, all you get is a bunch of one-word answers.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, fine. Good. You know, so what would we call that? I guess let's call that routine compliance, right?
Right.
So there's no depth to the conversation, no real interaction. Yep. Compliance gone bad.
I mean, just period. What about that child that you say, you know what? I have a little patience today. I'm going to spend some time with them. Let's talk about this situation. So you call them over to redirect them.
Okay.
And you're going over at that point what you did wrong, what you need to do, and maybe you need to think about this and do it this way. The child is really looking at you, for real.
So you put on a parenting clinic again.
Hey, I'm parenting today,
Okay,
for real, okay? So we're talking to the child, face to face. We have eye contact. Child is looking at me. I'm looking at them. I mean, I'm on this parenting thing. I'm doing it, okay? And then I release the child from that lecture. And the child leaves and go back and do the exact same thing we just talked about not doing. I'm thinking they're going to correct it and, oh, they finna take advantage of this redo. No, they just go back and do it. And I'm like, I'm baffled at this point. Hey, so I sincerely asked, what are you doing? What just happened? And sincerely, the child looked back at me and said, what are you talking about? Huh?
Wow.
Oh, did you want me to do something? Did I just not have a whole conversation with you? This is what we're going to call just plain delusional compliance. I mean, we interacted and I misunderstood that interaction. I thought it was a positive interaction. You're looking at me, I'm looking at you. So we must be on the same court, but we're not.
So this is obviously a case of what? Compliance on the bad.
Wow. Again, I mean, what is going on? What is wrong with this connection? So yeah, sometimes your compliance of a child, the child's compliance is not always good.
No.
I mean, that's why I beg to differ, because is it a good thing? It could be, but it's not a good thing all the time.
Right. Well, obviously, none of these, examples of undesired compliances will help grow relationships.
No.
They won't. They're actually going to stifle your conversations and your communications, and they're going to create mistrust.
Oh, yeah, because I didn't trust. I mean, you sit up there looking me in my face, and I'm looking you in your face.
After everything that was said.
All that, and you still go back and do the exact same thing that I thought I came in and saved today, and we're not going to do that anymore. That's not a good choice. Stay away from it, and you still go back and do the same thing.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to create some mistrust.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's mistrust on my part. I'm not and trust them to do the right thing. I don't know what that child's thinking. The child probably thinking the same thing. You know what? I can't just trust her to let me come down to the kitchen and get something to drink without her stopping me. No, because you ran down the steps. You just walked to the kitchen. You ran down the steps.
Right.
And then I ask you, what did you want? And you're like, oh, nothing. What are you down here for? Oh, I just came down to get something to drink. Well, that's what you want. So we just need to have this communication be more effective at times and
more clear and concise.
But when we talk about this compliance stuff, it's just crazy because we have to communicate. And when we communicate, effective communication does suppose to result in some type of compliance.
That's true.
If as a parent, from parent-child relationship is what I'm looking at.
Of course.
Okay, so we're communicating, and a parental role is to kind of guide you into the right direction. Then you would think that at sometimes you're going to comply, not delusionally.
Right.
Okay, if that's a type of compliance, and not where it's just more so of a surface compliance. I'm going to act like I did it.
Where it appears to be.
Right. It's really not that.
Right.
So I actually had to do some research. I'll be honest with you.
You did some research on
being at home this week and these snow days. We have to come to an understanding. Lord, what is going on? I think I'm connecting. I'm doing this, slowly and patiently with my child. And they still just zoom, 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 zoom. I'm getting lost, God. What's going on?
Oh, wow.
So I'll just tell you. I looked up and did some research and found out in this psychological world, there you go.
Okay. All right.
It is a certain thing called situational compliance. Now, that means that a child is actually doing what you ask them to do, but it's with you having to stand over them. They're being compliant because you're standing over them, because you're actually watching them, you're guiding them, you're telling them what to do next. I don't want that kind of compliance.
You don't want to give instructions step by step.
All day long. And that's how I kind of felt this week. Not all day long. And because what it does is you have to do that with a child when they lack motivation.
That makes sense.
We want our kids motivated.
Yes,
so I don't want to sit there and have to spoon feed them, as we call it,
Right.
So this is when they lack motivation, and you have to constantly prompt them. Well, even though I don't want to do that, we find ourselves doing it a lot.
That's true. That's true.
We find ourselves doing it.
Another type, I guess, if you will, is fear-based coerced compliance.
Yeah, that's not good.
Where a child complies to avoid the punishment, the consequences.
Oh, we see that a lot too.
And the result that results in what, negative self-esteem or low self-esteem, and they don't have any confidence, right? So it also wears you out as a parent.
Right.
You're tired. You're annoyed.
That
You,
day.
you know, you start raising your voice. And then
Right.
what does the child do? They shrink even more because now
Right.
they really don't. Now they're trying to just get out of your sight.
Right, because it's that fear base is what you call it, right?
Yeah.
Fear base
Yeah.
coercion that then you're sitting there trying to get them to do something. They're only doing it because they're scared or whatever punishment they're going to be. It's not always a physical punishment.
No.
It could just be a withdrawal.
Yes.
You withdrawing something that they feel connected to, such as
Electronics.
iPhone, iPad, being able to scroll on their phones and
Right.
look at YouTube or
Right.
whatever they're watching. Because kids
TV,
don't
everything.
really watch TV anymore.
No, they don't.
I
They
don't
have,
know why we keep saying kids watch TV. They have this big screen in their room or something, but it's not for TV stations because they're not watching it. That's for what they call their movie theaters.
right.
That's for
right.
them to watch movies on that they hook
Yes.
up with a cord to their iPad.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, so they don't know what channel 4, 5, 8, 11, 21, 27, 33, 68. They
Right.
don't know those channels.
Right.
They only know some app or somebody's YouTube page.
So they watching all kinds of content
Right.
from
You know.
all kinds of sources.
So because of their eagerness to resume that, or their expedient way that they have to connect to those items, because we couldn't have real time on stuff.
Right.
They have Instagram. They have all these different things that they're looking at in real time sometimes,
Right, right.
Oh, Snapchat. That's what they call
Yeah,
it.
they get instant gratification
Right.
from when they put in something, they get something out right away.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
their fear is real, you all.
Yeah.
When they have that fear of not being able to connect, when they want to connect because there are these 2000 kids, the 2020 kids,
Right.
where it's supposed to happen right away. I guess that could be scary to them.
Yeah, I
But
guess
we
so.
don't want them in that state, because in that state, you're only doing it because you're scared to not have something else. So is it real? Does it last?
No, it's superficial.
Right, it's superficial.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
makes them just kind of hold things inside of them and just cause more issues. It causes them to shrink, where that's when we get to the point, you know what? Kids can't even think for themselves.
Yeah, they don't have any real interaction.
Right.
In a real world sense.
And they're
So-
just used to being told what to do.
There you go.
We have to get out of that state.
There you go.
They're just used to being told what to do.
They're not independent thinkers.
No, I want you to think about what you should do. Well, we had one of those incidents this week, huh?
Oh yeah.
And it was just simply, this is serious. It's so minor, but it's serious. Calling the child down to grab a snack. So I had some, I think when we went out over the weekend before the snow, they had like some Girl Scout cookies. So a different box of cookies, because now the Girl Scouts selling their cookies. I don't really care for them. Larry loves them. So anyway, we had a box of cookies. Call the child down. Yeah, and they saw the box. Can I have a cookie? Yes, you can have a cookie. Tore the box open. What? Did you not see the flap? The child tore the flap off, you all.
It was in the way, I guess.
Of getting the cookies. Why? Because we called them down, came down from that game.
Yep, and in a rush to
now,
get back.
Hey, I need to turn to these cookies so I can eat it, and then I'm gonna go. So what did Mama do? Come back. Let's do a redo.
Redo. Wow.
Oh, if you tore the box, you gotta fix the box, son. So go get the tape, and fix my box. When I tell you all, it was like a puzzle. This child could not figure out how to put that flap back on the box and put a strip of tape. Serious.
And who was more frustrated? You or him?
Me at first, and then him, because I wouldn't let him go.
Right.
I was going to make sure that he got this. And the whole time, I'm just like, having my mama moment, like, you can't put that together. Come on, it's a puzzle. I'm like a child in a race. The child is running the race, and I'm on the side. Come on, go. You can do it. Because I really wanted this child to be successful in taping this flap back on the box.
And how motivated?
deal.
How motivated was this child to put that?
Not
tape on?
motivated at all.
None.
Because now
No more.
mom is tripping.
Yep.
Mom is totally tripping.
Mom is stopping me from doing
Just
what I want
on
to do.
there, what difference does it make? It makes a big difference. And here's mommy using this for now another bashing of the game, I guess, or a lesson, I call it. Son, this is why we have to, separate ourselves from these screens all the time. as I talk to you on a podcast, huh? Come on. This is why, you need to be separated from the screens because these smartphones are not teaching you really how to be so smart.
Right.
They're telling you and doing these things for you. All mama wants you to do is put the flap back in its original place and tape. So that when somebody else comes, now they can get it too. Instead of going crossways, y'all, he had tape going all straight down. I mean, just all little pieces of tapes, all sides of tapes. He done taped the whole flap shut. Well, nobody else getting the cookie now.
He sealed it up.
Nobody. So, of course, because he's still working on this flap, what does he do? I don't even want a cookie anymore. And what does mama do? Oh, no, you finna get this cookie out as soon as you fix that flap. So that was, just part of that teaching moment. But he just kind of complied. He was going to comply out of that fear. Let me just get this done so I won't get anything else taken away from me. So nothing else will happen and I want to leave. So he take this shut, closed shut. Nobody else can open it because he just wanted to be compliant.
Yep. He just wanted to get out of it.
Now, you think that worked? Y'all know us by now. It didn't work. That little 3-second action took 30 minutes to get through.
Wow.
Why? Because we're patient. And we're going to give them all the love and redirection possible, right, babe? No, it's because they've been home all week for this snow and you have nothing else to do. And since you're here with me, we're going to learn.
We're going to get to the bottom of this.
We're going to get to this, but where we really want our, don't want our kids to go that we talked about in this psychological world was the passive, just silent resentment.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's where I kind of felt my child was going to go if I didn't release him soon. Because is when a child is doing what you ask them to do, but they have all this resentment going on inside of them inwardly. It's hidden anger that's building up. And sometimes you don't know what's going on.
Right.
Now, with this cookie situation, I knew what was going on because my child was just smiling. Like, okay, mom, let me take this on here. The first 5 minutes until I continued the lesson. Then he was like, look now,
you crossed the line.
Right. I'm just out of here. I'm just, cruel. This is just mean. Right. You just want to take my stuff away from me. As kids say, it's not like I'm going to play.
Don't we hear that all the time?
All the time. You just want my stuff for yourself.
No.
I don't get on your stuff at all, but you're not going to get on it until you do what I ask you to do.
Right.
So with that passive silent resentment, it's just scary. It could be scary because you don't want a child to build up resentment over any situation, especially not you and something you're dealing with them on, and you don't want them to be passive.
True.
Passive aggressive is just never a good deal. But when you have anger inside of you, Emily, and everything's on the outside looks good, that's when people start saying, oh, I didn't even see it coming.
Yep. You get those big old explosions.
Right.
Yep.
Then, he just came out of nowhere and just had a whole tantrum. Well, if he was trying to be compliant and he was passively being compliant, then and that silent resentment of being compliant,
right?
Then that's what happens.
Yeah. He felt cornered. He went to fight or flight,
right.
kind of deal.
It's like survival mode.
Yeah, survival mode, like literally.
And that's what he's going to do at that time, or she's going to do.
Right.
So yes, these are all examples of compliance going bad in the psychological world. We can call it whatever we want to at home.
But they have definitions.
There are definitions of that child just hitting that surface and playing like it happened, or that child, acting like, yes, I'm listening to you, but they're not really listening to you.
Right.
That could be that passive part, and the whole time you're talking, they're like, yeah. See, this why, she just make me sick. These are all the things you read about in the journals.
Right.
Right. Like, I didn't know my child felt that way. So we have to look at those cues too. Right. See how they become compliant after you talk to them.
Right.
After you redirect them, after the situation. And did he come down the next day and get cookies without turning that flap off? No, unfortunately, I can say the cookies are still sitting there with that same tape on it.
Because he wants nothing to do
No
with them.
one in the house wants a cookie anymore.
All of a sudden.
Honestly, and then I end up baking the cake, so they're like, "I'm just gonna
Even
keep
better.
chopping on this cake."
Yeah, and that
Because,
cake, needs to say the cake didn't last long.
Not at all, because they didn't want a cookie situation.
Nope, not at
They
all.
didn't want a cookie lecture. We're not going to deal with cookie compliance today.
Those cookies are still sitting there, one of them brand spanking new. No one's touched the cookies.
No one touched it.
No
The
desire
tape
for the
is still
cookies.
fresh.
Wow.
The tape is on there, however he left it, however we left that situation, because during this snow week, forget the cookie.
Yeah. Maybe we'll try again next week.
Right. That cookie's going to take me away from everything I want to do.
Right. So look, at the end of the day, I guess, look, what we want to do is we want children to develop what I would like to call an innate compliance.
I like that one. I know
Yeah.
what that means.
You know what that means? Yeah. You know, where they just do it because they know it's the right thing to do, right?
Right.
They got a sense of pride in doing the right thing,
Mhm.
and they naturally want to do things correctly. But I guess
Y'all
that's
have any of
just-
those children?
Yeah, okay.
We have some even now
it's a
and then. They show
parental
up.
that's a parental fantasy in my opinion. That's not something we see often, okay?
Right. But they do show up sometimes. I must say, we were children.
That's
You
true.
know,
That's
we
true. I
always
agree.
reflect on how good of a child we were, right?
I was the
So-
best. Ask my
Of
never mind.
course.
Ask my siblings, they'll tell you.
So therefore, I mean, those are the sweet spots of compliance when a child actually gets it,
Right.
when it seems like they get it or they
right.
got it. And so when they can go back and clean their kitchen and have everything done, they now are wiping and cleaning those tables and the counters. They're not wetting it up. They're actually washing and drying the dishes
And drying them.
thoroughly
Wow.
before they put them in the counters. You know, not just pushing in the chairs at the table, but hey, let's all sweep that floor and pick up the stuff that we wasted under the table before we push the chair in and turn that light off and stomp upstairs like they really did something. Okay? So yes, that's the sweet spot. We do want that type of
Right.
compliance, innate compliance, where, you know, they're just doing it and doing it correctly. Why? Because it shows pride in myself.
Right.
You know, I used to tell children in the school system, respect yourself so much that you wouldn't dare disrespect someone else. I don't have to get into a verbal or altercation with anyone. Why? It's not even about that person, because kids are quickly to say, and even adults, sadly, oh, I'm not going to show them respect. They don't show me respect. It's not about showing them respect. Just show yourself some respect.
Right.
And not go there.
There you go.
Not
Like-
go there with that person. Why? Because you respect yourself. Just comply, you know, correctly, because it's showing who you are.
Right.
I have pride in what I do. I don't want to have to be called back down to the kitchen and clean it up 2 and 3 times.
That's just no
You
fun.
know? I don't want to iron my school clothes 5 and 6 times.
Who
What?
does-
I don't want to clean my room. I can go on and on. I don't want to clean my room 3 and 4 times because mom walked in and out or dad walked in and out and said it wasn't clean. You know what? I don't want to have to pick up clothes off the floor because I never put them on the floor. I put them in my hamper.
Is that a fantasy or something?
Oh, okay. That was those parental fantasies.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm
Those
like,
are
what?
definitely
Whose house is she
parental
talking about?
But the deal is, baby, that was good. They wouldn't have known. They wouldn't have known. What are you talking about? I was saying all the stuff we bought the same, you know, stuff that we written out, typed out, put on the wall. You know, you open it, close it. If you break it, fix
Fix
it.
it.
You know, these is, you know, just innate stuff.
If you
do.
drop it, pick it
Pick
up.
it up. Oh no. Y'all, our kids went out in the snow or ice, played, and came back in the house, took gloves off.
Uh-oh.
We had one child stuff the gloves in the sofa, in the couch, just shoved them in there,
Yeah.
shoved them in there. And then the next morning, you know, we didn't notice this, but the next morning it came out. I'm thinking, oh gosh, these kids are left, you know, trash, or I'm thinking it's chip wrapper or something. I pull out and I'm pulling out this chip wrapper. I thought it was a whole glove. And as I continue to pull, then it's more gloves, just stuff.
Wet
Who does
gloves.
it? Wet gloves stuffed in the electrical part of your couch. And I'm thinking, and you all, as I walked away in disgust, I put them there. I was just going to wake her up, tell them, come pick these up. I walked away in a chair. I saw They're not even bought gloves. She made the gloves.
Oh,
She done took
wow.
stuff, cut off the fingertip part, rolled it up. So now the part that she cut off is in the chair, and then the gloves are stuffed in the couch. And this is all because she didn't want to go upstairs and put them away before she went to the kitchen for her snack. Also, because she wanted to look like she was being compliant when told to do so, so she hit them. I don't know what categories psychologically you can put that in, but it happens. You know, this is stuff you can't just, read about and Google.
Right.
You have to experience it.
Welcome to our world.
There you go.
There you go.
Have to experience it. Because the next morning, when I called the child down and called the children down for breakfast, because I've been waking them up intentionally every morning because they think they can sleep until 12 or 1 o'clock. Nope. Kitchen opens for breakfast. Kitchen opens for lunch. And it closes right after dinner. That's a wrap.
Right.
Because they will eat up your home. You will not have a kitchen anymore. Okay? So when I called them down for breakfast the next morning, the same morning I noticed these handmade gloves stuffed into our couch. Do you know the girls had the audacity to say that the baby boy hid his gloves behind a chair? I said, what? And I looked, I didn't see anything. Well, y'all, he hit him so well, he pushed his gloves underneath the chair. And the person who told on him was the person who hid hers inside the couch. What are you doing? So as I called him back downstairs and said, hey, come get these gloves. You done hid under the chair. Of course, it's funny because it's like, oh, you found them. Because he totally forgot he put them there. That's what gets me about kids.
They forget.
They try to do one thing to get out of trouble from doing another thing, but then they forget that they did it.
Yep.
So now you're reminding them, hey, you know what? Remember when you were trying to be slick? It didn't really work because you forgot. So go pick it up and be compliant with that. So now I'm calling her out on her gloves, calling him out on his gloves, but they felt they were being compliant.
They felt
it. So it would be nice to have the innate compliance that you just come from outside, take your gloves upstairs and put them away. You can come down, wash your hands and eat a snack instead of hiding them, washing your hands and going to eat your snack and forgetting to go back and get them. So I'll have to be called down the next morning and I have to intervene. So that communication, of a child just doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then you saying, you know what, great job. And talking about that, yes, that opens up communication.
Right.
It takes all the resentment away. It takes all the frustration away. And it opens up a way for effective communication.
Right. Well, look, look, now that you've got an opportunity to hear a snippet of our life for this past week.
Right.
We just want you to understand this, okay? We began our journey with our children in, October of 2012. And
right. And it hasn't been easy.
No, it hasn't been.
It's been a lot going on and we're, having to deal with compliance. But even with that, we need to talk about how do we get to the point of that sweet spot where everything in your house is running smoothly? How do you get to the point that everybody's in sync? Communication highways are open. It's been effective. So we had them since October.
Right.
They've been, and that was what?
2012.
2012. Yeah. Okay. So we've had it since October 1. That's a day we can never forget because we started out the fall with them.
Right.
October 1. Yep. Adopted them on
August 19th of 2025.
Okay. So 2025. Oh, God.
No, I'm saying the wrong year. My mistake. 2015.
I was like, that was just last year.
That was last year. No, I can assure you 10 years has not been compacted into one. No, okay. It's been since 2015. I'm misspeaking.
Okay, so 2015. Right. So we had actually 3 years.
Yes. Just about 3 years before adoption.
Before adoption.
Yes.
So all this stuff about 6 months. Their case will be in foster care for 6 months.
Yeah,
you already know that's not true.
That's not
if you're fostering, that's not true.
Right.
Because the extensions go on.
Yes. Those cases are not, typically resolved in only 6 months. It looks good on paper and it sounds good when they say it, but that's not reality.
It's not. And I think it's really fair. give parents an opportunity to get their children
To
back.
reunify their families if
You know,
if at
give
all
them that
possible. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
You know, so 3 years, I think, it was about time at that time,
Right.
where, parental rights were unfortunately, and I'm going to say unfortunately, actually terminated, because I do not believe that God created these children for us to adopt.
No, I don't agree with that.
That's not it. People, say that is, oh, baby, you were born just for me. No, what does that say to the child?
Right.
That, oh, okay, God put them in a situation that wouldn't work out and they had to deal with trauma just to get to us? No. It's just that God always have that ram in
That's a good insight.
Yeah.
That's a very good
God
insight.
has the ram in the bush.
Right.
So think about that when you talk about compliance and deal with compliance in your home as well. God does have a ram in the bush. So with that, we share with you how long we've had them. So if we're still dealing with that today, guess what? You're all right.
Yeah, for sure.
You're still doing the right thing.
For sure.
Just be consistent. Be persistent.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Continue to pray on this journey.
Yeah, a lot of prayer.
Continue to just be there for them.
Yeah,
be direct and love.
Be open, honest, and just give them what you desire, which is love.
Right.
At the end of the day,
and everything you do it in love.
Right.
I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how much you do it and how many times you have to say it. Just do it in love, because everyone deserves that.
Right.
I mean, we got it. God gave it to us freely. And I guarantee you, it's nothing about us that made him love us. But he did. And because he did, then we should be able to transfer that same love to every child.
Right.
Being compliant or not. Being surface compliant, or if they're truly showing compliance out of innate ability and just wanting and willingness to do better.
Right.
Okay. So yes, we've had our kids this long. We've now gone from one child in college to 9 in the home to 4 grown and gone.
Yep. And 2 in college. Yep.
And 4 teenagers in the house.
Yep. And my children.
And 4 grandchildren that frequently visit. That's a sweet spot for us.
Yeah.
And we still have a bundle on the way.
Yep. Sure.
Okay. So God has continued to allow us to grow.
Right.
Not just through our lessons and trials and tribulations, the joys and the pains, but we continue to grow because we continue to stay on this journey. Okay. Intentionally stand on the journey.
Right.
We're going to continue to learn. We're going to continue to meet their needs wherever they are, however it needs to look, for however long it needs to look. So, I mean, does compliance have an age?
No, it doesn't. And the word unconditional means unconditional. So it doesn't matter about their age, doesn't matter about what they should know better, or they did so that it's unconditional love. And I'm gonna add a word, support.
Right. Which
support,
actually, I think unconditional is really there to me in any condition.
There you go. Like literally.
In any condition.
Right. Regardless of condition. There you go. Regardless of. There you
condition.
Go. Yeah.
So you can put that any preface in front of condition that you want to. But just know that if you stay on the journey, there will be conditions that you're going to have to alter, that you're going to have to go through, that you're going to have to, sometimes just surrender over to God and let him take care of it. So on this journey, continue to do that and just know compliance doesn't have an age. It doesn't have a time frame. It shows up and sometimes it's not there.
Right.
But through your love, through your consistency, we can make sure that we'll continue to teach them. And they'll come through. I guarantee you. They'll come through because we saw a lot of good parts of compliance this week as well. We saw a whole lot of children that are our children, and many times they actually just stepped out on their own without being told.
Yeah, it was good to see. It was awesome to see.
It kind of balanced itself out.
Yeah.
So now where does that leave us? Life is still lifing. Things are still going on. We're still having to make some boundaries in life.
Oh, you mean, hold on.
Yeah.
Why? Because things change?
Things change,
people change. Hey.
Kids need to know certain things. Kids want to know certain things. And then if they're ready or not, when it hit, we have to adjust as their parents.
Right.
We have to do what's best for them in knowledge-wise, as well as just applying these things in life.
Right.
So that's one thing that we really try to do. Well, what does adoption look like now with young adults and teens? You all, are we even part of their conversation?
That's a great
their
question.
friends?
That's a great
Are
question.
we a conversation starter? Or do mentioning us and them mentioning being adopted, does it end their conversation?
Good.
I mean, let's
Great
just
question.
tune in next week and let's talk about that. Let's see where we stand in our children's lives for their friends. Do their friends know about us? Do we know about their friends?
Okay.
Just simply, are we involved in their social life?
That's
Are we part of it?
something I think we like to find out.
Yeah. Or they're ashamed. Let's tune in next week and talk about it.
Yep. Join us. Thanks for tuning in to our Foster and Adoption podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment.
Let us know what's on your mind. If there's a topic you would like for us to discuss, let us know. Leave it in the comments. In the meantime, tune in to next week while we talk about our journey with our children at this point, with them being teens, with them being young adults, and us being adoptive parents. Are we part of their journey now? Are we ever discussed? Or are we more like spectators just watching? Tune in and find out.